Good morning, all. Good morning. Hopefully, everybody's having a great and exceptional day. It is Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. I might have some tacos for dinner tonight. We'll see what happens. But life is good. It's all good in the neighborhood as it should be, and it would be, and as it could be. So, anyways, hopefully, everybody's having a good day. If you're watching, hit the like button. That's all I ask. Simple things. If you want to contribute to the channel, hit up Larry's Anything Goes LLC on the Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all that. Links will be in the description. But if not, just don't forget to check out my YouTube channels. First one, Larry's Anything Goes LLC. Second one, Patterson on Properties LLC. That's the free stuff you can do, and it'd be greatly appreciated. If you follow me, I follow you on here. That's the way the game goes. But anyways, keeping it positive, keeping it. We know it's a beautiful day to be alive. Weather's a little cold, but it's all good. But today on Instagram yesterday, I went back and talked about how 2026 and 2025 is basically the uncuffing season. Basically meaning uncuff yourself from people that are users and abusers. Uncuff yourself from people that are not about helping support your goals and ambitions, as you are the person that are doing a great job of always constantly supporting their goals and ambition and looking out for their best interest, but they're never going out of the way to look out for your best interest. We don't have any time for that, for these people anymore. You don't have any time for these people anymore. And the number one thing I took away from InvestFest back in August is multiple things, personally, professionally, and financially. But the main thing I took away is when I got to see Jack Dorsey, one of the founders of Cash App. He was in an undisclosed location. You could tell he was in a third world country. He looked like a guy that just left Woodstock, or a guy that just left a college dorm as a residential assistant. And the place that he was in was very meager, modest means and whatnot, but he was there steadily working. Clearly he had a Wi-Fi connection and he was working. One of the richest people on the planet. Um, Moral of the story is, going into 2026, it's not the time, even though I have a travel business, if you want to check it out, with Planet Marketing, it's not the time for play right now. And the main reason why it's not time for play is because, we're living in times when most people can barely afford their rent. People can't afford to even buy food. They're basically financing their food, groceries via credit cards. And, people can't afford to buy a house. People can barely afford rent. People can barely afford to buy a car. And with all this information floating around the marketplace, I was learning this listening to EY University this morning. And it's something I didn't even think about. It really blew my mind because it's one of the realest things ever. They were like, Troy Rashad and Ian Dunlap, they were like, this is one of the first times in history where most money, for the most part, is tied up in assets than it is in the bank. So what does that mean? And I'm not giving out financial advice, do your own research. But what does that mean? That means that more and more people understand that being cash heavy isn't one of the best things, because they know they need access to more assets than they do actually liquid cash, because they need their money to grow for them. So unless the bank has a high yield savings account, more and more people are like, hey, I'd rather have most of my money floating around in the stock market. Well, nowadays, owning gold and crypto and things of that nature, cryptocurrency. And it's up to, I'm not giving out financial advice. Do your homework, do your research. But people have that mindset because they're like, hey, I see something happening in the future and it's not looking too good from a financial aspect, not only in America, but around the world. And, another thing to take to put into perspective, if hey, how do banks really make money? Well, they own assets. They literally invest money that people deposit in their accounts. That's why, because I've noticed lately more and more banking institutions are emailing me saying, hey, open up a bank account with us and we'll give you X amount of dollars, which just still makes me laugh. You tell me I have to put $20,000, $10,000 to $20,000 in a bank account in order to get $500 back. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if I was looking for a banking institution, I'd be like, sure, why not? But if I'm not, then I'm just like, what's in it? $500 ain't nothing anymore. I mean, to be quite honest, people, families use $500 a week to buy food. I mean, if we just gonna keep it real, because I've seen that at a grocery store before, where people, family, and this is a husband and a wife with 2, 3 kids, they spent up to $400 or $500. This is literally for a week to a week half worth of food at a grocery store, at a bottom tier grocery store at that. So at a Food Line, no, shout out to Food Line. I love them. They got good deals. But we're not talking about, Wegmans or, Publix or Whole Foods. We're talking about Food Line. Bottom, compared to the grocery store chains, they're not top tier. But the moral of the story is, it's just like, therefore, if banking institutions do not have the ability to really lend out money so that they can charge you interest, then hey, they're not really, that means that there's a changing tide in the economy, and I'll leave it at that. So with that changing tide, once again, are you around people that are about that work? Are you around people that are about supporting your dreams as you are about supporting their dreams? Because once again, now, the holiday season might be coming up, but it's not the let's drink and be merry and relax era right now. It's to go get money, invest as much as you can, and do your own research when you do that. Save as much as you can and increase your value as much as you can. That's the season that we're in. So that's why I say we're in the uncuffing season of people that just want to be basic and boring. Okay. The people that's why one thing I do love about TikTok is people about getting that bag, people are making them moves, people about that work. The more they post, the more they go online, the more they stay on their grind. Nothing but love and respect to everybody on TikTok. Make the money, make money moves and live broke like a fool. That's my mantra. And I say that all the time. And I see that all the time, every time I get on TikTok. So I love that energy. Another thing, get around people that have more of an international mindset. And when I say international mindset, when it comes to traveling, see, for me in 2026, traveling is about three things: knocking things off my bucket list, building relationships, and possibly creating an atmosphere where I could have different capital from different areas and different regions, things of that nature, for different seasons. And so shout out to Melissa Mold, because she has actually helped me see that mindset in regards to looking through the lens of the world from international flair, seeing places that I couldn't even pronounce, or even places that I never even thought of visiting or whatnot, because that's the thing I've learned and since the pandemic is I got tired of being around basic minds and people that just wanted to look flashy, but do basically the same stuff that mostly everyday regular working people do. That all they want to do is go to work and come home and scratch themselves and doom scroll online and whatnot, but they don't want to take risks. They don't want to go on adventures. Their adventures is doing something, going to a concert or a comedy show in the DMV area. And the world is bigger than the DMV area, but a lot of people here just can't see beyond that. Or I like to say that they're working retired, where they don't want to go anywhere. They just want to go to work, go home and scratch themselves and watch a football game. If that's what you want to do, that's cool. But for me, there's more to this life than just doing that. So shout out to anybody who's making moves. Shout out to anybody who's encouraging. Shout out to anybody who's, partnering up with people, exchanging ideas and not holding all the good information, and just implementing and moving forward, because real talk, 2026 is the uncuffing season. Uncuff yourself from people that ain't about ish. Uncuff yourself from people that just want to talk the talk but never walk the walk. Uncuff yourself from people that ain't trying to put money down on the table. As Damon Dash would say, even though Damon could be a little crazy and he has, nobody's perfect, but he says if you're not around people that are willing to put money on the table, then they shouldn't even be able to be around you. Because if you're the one doing that, then they're just basically a tick sucking you dry, mentally, physically, and at times even spiritually. So do your best to burn off. How do you remove a tick? You put a match up to it, go old school with it, and burn it off of you. It's going to hurt, but it's going to feel much better once the wound heals up and whatnot, because you're like, hey, I don't have time to be around this kind of energy anymore. And I don't think anybody does. This is the working season, uncuffing season and working season, mentally and physically. Get it in and don't commit too many sins season. That's where we're at. So that's all I have to say. Just keep it real and do the great 3 free things: like, share, and subscribe. Like I said, check out my YouTube channels: Larry's Anything Goes LLC, Patterson No Properties LLC. Want to check out the online store? Please do that. Get your Make Money Moves apparel and all that good stuff. And we're going to keep this train moving. We're going to keep it positive, because for me, that's the only way to live. But yeah, shout out to the folks that have always shown me a different way to think about things, and shout out to the people that aren't scared to execute when it comes to buying an asset, when it comes to starting a business, when it comes to advancing themselves in a career. We are in the time of working and execution, because that's, to me, the real true revolution is for everybody to get the execution on. So have a great day. Make money moves so you can live like a fool, as they say in Spanish. Bienvenido a la vida. Welcome to the life.